Hi there, I'm Christine Dunbar from SpeechModification.com, and this is my Smart American Accent Training. Welcome to our Word of the Day series, where I've been taking your requests for words you'd like help to pronounce in American English. Today's request was for the word architectural, and while we're here, we'll also talk about the words architect and architecture, since they're all related, obviously, and they might all be useful for you, I hope. So in the word architect, we have first syllable stress, and that means that the arch syllable is stressed. All of these words have the R diphthong, which is the same as what we use in the word are, like we are, or as in car, far, etc. You'll note that there are different ways of writing this diphthong. Sometimes I write it with the ah symbol and the symbol. Technically, there's a slightly different vowel. It's a little bit more like the Spanish ah, a little bit more forward. So for those of you who might find that saying R and or, some of these diphthongs with the R, where you have to glide in from a vowel to the R, are challenging, that's one detail that may help you, thinking about the tongue being a little bit forward and then lifting into the tighter R. Then in the second syllable, I have the letter I saying the I vowel, architect. And then lastly, I have the red tent vowel in the last syllable. So I want to think about arc. I think I'll write it with a K, just an ARK, just like the word arc. Architect. Architect. Watch for making sure that you have the KT at the end, tect. Architect. We may or may not release that T. Typically, I think when I have a KT sound, architect, I probably say both sounds. The architect is, then it's going to follow those rules for linking. I might link that and make that more of a flap when I'm moving into a vowel sound next. Looking at the word architecture, I still have first syllable stress, and the beginning 3 syllables are the same. And then I have to add my T-U-R-E actually says the CH sound, chur, the ch, plus the U-R-E says the architecture. So that may just simply be hard because saying all of those syllables with a lot of R's can be tough. So just kind of thinking again about going slowly, architecture. Notice in this case that my tech syllable doesn't have that T. Because that T is part of the CH sound, the chur sound, architecture. Lastly, when I'm saying architectural, we have a syllable stress change. So now I still have a little bit of stress on this first syllable. It has secondary stress, but my main stress now has moved to the tech syllable, architectural. So building from that, thinking about tech, that's another way of writing that same sound, texture. And then I have my tech. I shouldn't write that with a CH because it makes it confusing, doesn't it? Texture. So here is where we run into some issues with the Earl. I have to do my sound, my vocalic R, and then my syllabic or vocalic dark L at the same time, right in sequence. Earl. We talked about this in words like rural and plural and cultural. Here we have a little bit of a break between syllables, churl. So just practicing and getting that sequence of sounds. It's tough, but you can probably do it. If you work from the back, you can try rull. And then the same thing happens at the beginning. I still have my architectural. I'm just going to have more length there in the middle syllable. When I can say architect, architecture, and architectural by themselves, I want to try using them in some short phrases and sentences just so I get practice continuing to say them correctly, sequencing all those sounds as I'm actually using them. So I have a friend who used to be an architect and then she owned a clothing store. Architecture is an interesting field. I like the architectural design of that building. Okay, thank you for that request, and also for all of the many requests you've been leaving in the comments. If you have a word you'd like to see as part of the series, do feel free to leave me a comment and I will add it to my list of words to cover in a future class. If you have a question that can't wait, you can attend our Friday live question and answer classes. Those happen at 12 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 3 p.m. Eastern Time, every Friday. We also have a members class on Sundays that you can attend as a channel member. It's a small group question and answer class. And if you'd like to know more about channel membership, I suggest you click the join button, check it out. There's some perks like that class and some additional lessons and videos just for the channel members. Thanks so much for those of you who've subscribed and joined the channel. I really appreciate it, and I really appreciate everyone's support who watches, leaves nice comments, or leaves any comments, questions. I really appreciate the support. Okay, I'm Christine Dunbar from SpeechModification.com. Remember, if you want to sound like a native speaker, you can do it. SpeechModification.com. Bye guys, see you tomorrow.